Hello and welcome. My name is Andrea. I am your mom who poles. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my shoulder stand conditioning exercises that I like to do for my core. Shoulder stand is a move that I really like. I think it's a wow move, it's an impressive move, and it's also a move that you don't need a pole to do. So it's great if on the days you can't get to the studio or you don't have access to a pole, you can still condition and work towards the sport that you love, even when your access may be limited. One of the things that I really love about the shoulder stand is it helps me condition my body for positions that I might do later on the pole or aerially, especially achieving that tucked, stacked position. So it's really nice to be able to train those types of moves safely on the floor before you try them up in the air. Today's conditioning routine for the shoulder stand focuses primarily on the core and keeping the core engaged throughout the weight transfers that happen during your shoulder roll and or your shoulder stand. It's a great way to get some conditioning in before or after your training session. Or if you can't get a training session in, this is a great way to at least check the box that you at least achieved something today on the days when you can't get a full training session in. So make sure that you do a little bit of a warm-up before you engage in this routine, and happy poling. So today we're going to go over shoulder stand conditioning. You want to make sure that your shoulder is close to your knees. You don't want it to be too far out in front. I'm going to sweep my leg forward, and as I do, I'm really trying hard to engage my oblique there to bring my hips close to and stacked over my shoulders. So I keep this sweeping back and forth to try to start to activate the abs. And then if I feel good and solid, I'm going to try to lift my hips up by straightening both legs. I try this a couple times. It's a good ab burner, and it's really helpful for getting the feeling of where your body should be before you start lifting your leg or legs up off the floor. So I'm going to be a very good pole dancer and try both sides. Let's try both sides. There we go. And as you can see, my hips move close to and above my shoulders. That bottom knee doesn't start to slide out at all. So once I feel good, I'm going to try to straighten both legs and see how my hips are stacked up and over my shoulders. And I'm really getting a good oblique activation there as I do that. So I would try this as many times as you need to really feel the activation in the core. And you also want to remember, and maybe I'll go over this in another video, you want to continue to push the floor away with your shoulder. You don't want to be crumpled up on the floor. So, we want to be like Chuck Norris, right? We do earth downs, right? The floor doesn't come up and hit us. So now I'm going to practice rolling onto both shoulders, coming into that plow position. And I want to be looking up towards the ceiling when I do that. Still staying very active through the shoulders. And again, while my gaze is going up, that doesn't mean that I crumple through the neck either. And we're going to try both sides so you can see what it looks like from the back. Good job. I'm so proud of myself. And I gotta fix my hair. And here we go again. Rolling over into that lateral shoulder roll here. So once we get comfortable entering on both sides and coming into that plow position, then we can transfer the weight from one shoulder through center over to the other. And it's really important that when I'm bending that knee, I'm keeping it close to my shoulder, so I'm not going too far wide. Yep. All right, now I'm just showing off. But hey, it's a pretty cool trick. All right, so now we've activated our core. We've worked on the position that our body's going to be in. Let's see if we can handle some more feats of strength here. And I'm going to try to bring myself into a shoulder stand in a split position. I will say this is my less dominant side, so it's a little bit harder for me. You're going to get a nice back view on my dominant side. Again, palm faces up to the ceiling, shoulder is pressing the floor away, nice and active. If you want to see some shoulder drills that I do, please feel free to drop something in the comments and maybe I'll share some of that. But again, notice the hips are stacked over the shoulders, big oblique crunch, and I want to find that position before I lift any leg up off the floor. One last time on my less dominant side, because I can't let it be the way it was before. And I recommend doing both sides equally, but if you've got a side that needs a little extra work, definitely give it some extra love. You'll see there is some twisting action that happens in the hip. My foot goes a little further away from my face. It gives a nicer line, and I definitely feel more steady. So definitely practice this a couple times a week until you feel comfortable. Yes, it's an ab burner. Thanks for watching.